So when a family is trying to decide whether they should bank cord blood or not, every family's decision is very unique. But some of the common themes we hear are therapeutic potential, right? What do they think that cord blood can be used for? We know that the cord blood can be used for transplantation. That's kind of the bedrock or the foundation of the cord blood banking industry. But a lot of families also, I think, decide to bank because of future potential. Although they've been very well proven to work in transplant for over 30 years, I think people get that this is probably not a one-trick pony, right? The stem cells can't not only do one thing. Science is moving forward and there's research saying, okay, little cells, what else can you do, right? Can we apply you to other things? And so the family's kind of belief in the future of science, that's something that plays in, and it's very different family to family. And then family history. If a family has had an experience where someone in the family has needed a transplant, or they know there's a history of one of the disorders that is being looked at through clinical trials. There's a lot of different things that are unique to that family that may motivate one family to say, you know what, I think my family's at higher risk than average, and I really want to make sure that we have this resource banked for the use of that child or potentially family members as well. I think some of the things that a family would consider in their family history as they're trying to decide whether to bank or not would be looking at what is cord blood currently used to treat. So in the transplant setting, there's nearly 80 different conditions where transplant is a potential therapeutic option. The categories are there are certain types of cancer where you can use transplant. There are hemoglobinopathies, there's immune deficiencies, bone marrow failure syndromes that might motivate them to consider storing the cells. When you donate cord blood to a public bank, you are relinquishing your rights to it. You are donating it. And it's a fabulous thing to do. I wish we had more public banks and everyone had that option. I cannot say that it would be impossible to get your unit back if it was stored, but that's not how it's set up. And not 100% of the units that are donated go into the bank. All right. So there's kind of a lot of things that could happen between when you donate and years from now, you decide that you did need it back for something. I guess the cleanest answer to that question is that when you donate to a public facility, you are doing an altruistic thing and you are relinquishing your rights to it and giving it to the public then. The ability to donate to a public source is constrained by the fact that you have to deliver at certain hospitals that have relationships with these public banks. There's been various programs over time that try to facilitate more people to be able to give to that public system. But the truth is the most established ways are if you deliver at certain hospitals that have a relationship with a public bank, then it's an option for you. Family banking, on the other hand, you can be anywhere. Doesn't matter what hospital you deliver at, you can deliver at home, you can deliver wherever. And family banking is more dedicated to that specific person. They collect it and they ship it. It's not tied to any specific hospital. So if you've banked your cord blood privately, you are not able to then down the road change it to a public registry. There are different sets of regulations that are used for public and private banking. Lots of overlap, but enough of a difference that basically once it's been collected for one type of storage, it will stay that way. Now, if families decide that they no longer want to privately bank the cord blood, they do have options to donate for research. And so although they can't flip over to a publicly searchable registry type of thing, there are still other things that can come out of it. In the private banks alone, I know that there's over 1 million, I'd say maybe closer to 2 million. And of course, that number is constantly changing. And the public system is a little bit different. But again, there are many public banks and there's a huge number. The public bank is always trying to kind of run a balance. They don't necessarily want to have the hugest bank in the world. They want to have the most diverse bank in the world, right? Because when you're using cells, they need to match. You just can't go throwing anyone's cells into somebody else. And so what the public system does is it tries to have a very diverse and broad bank. They don't necessarily want it to be huge and deep, but they want it to be very diverse and wide so that anyone coming to that registry would be able to find a match.